small farm located in a small hollow. It wasn't a commercial farm, just something they had to support themselves. However, when they got older and it was more difficult for them to maintain the farm, they quit using the barn. It just sort of sat there and was used as a storage area mainly. Every Thanksgiving and Christmas, we would go to our grandparents' house. This story took place on Thanksgiving. I was 15 years old, and that's the age where I began not enjoying hanging out with the adults and my family anymore. Suddenly, listening to the stories of when I was a kid or when my parents were kids was just not that entertaining anymore. We had Thanksgiving dinner early. It was about 2 p.m. Afterward, I was beginning to feel a bit antsy. I let my parents know that I was going to go and explore the hollow a little bit. It had been a while since I had done so. I didn't even think of asking my younger brother and sister if they wanted to go. It was fine because honestly, I felt like being by myself. I knew that I didn't really have a lot of time to explore before it got dark. So I set out and made sure I knew how far I could go and still get back before the sun had set. I didn't do the greatest job at it though. If you've ever been out exploring the woods, you might probably know what I mean. You can get easily fascinated with the woods and the hills and lose track of time. It got very, very dark before I was anywhere close to being home. By the time I got back to the farm, it had been dark for at least an hour. I had never been out by the barn when it was dark outside. It looked incredibly creepy. Being a teenage boy, I of course liked scary things. The thought then occurred to me that if the barn was creepy looking on the outside, it must be really creepy on the inside. I decided to check it out. Getting into the barn was simple. My grandparents rarely locked the door of their house, much less thought about locking the barn. They lived in a really safe area where crime was pretty much unheard of. The barn did have one of those heavy wooden locks on it. I honestly have no idea what they are called, but I was able to pull the wooden beam up. When I opened the barn door, it made a horribly loud creaking noise. I knew my grandparents had likely not been in the barn for years, so I was surprised I was able to get the door open. I figured the hinges had to nearly be rusted shut. As I mentioned, the barn was old, and even when it was in use, my grandparents would only have been in it during the day, so there was no light. Thank God that I live in the era of smartphones, because I of course had a flashlight on my smartphone. I turned on the flashlight and just marveled at the creepiness. If dark is creepy, then just a minor amount of light made it much creepier. I was fascinated by all the tools, so many sharp implements. Most of them were hanging up. However, there was a small hatchet lying on a workbench. It was discolored, and on a closer inspection, I realized that it was coated in dry blood. I don't know much about slaughtering animals, but I knew that my grandparents used to do it often, chickens and pigs and stuff. So I figured that the hatchet was used for that purpose and never cleaned it. The barn had a loft that was filled with hay. I decided to climb the ladder and check it out. When I was shining the light around, it reflected off something buried in the hay. I was wondering if it was another tool or something and decided to check it out. Going over to it, I began moving the hay. I screamed when the empty eye sockets of a long-dead corpse were staring directly at me. I fell backwards and nearly fell off the loft. I quickly climbed down the ladder and ran out of the barn without closing the door. I rushed into the house and told my parents and grandparents about what I had seen. My father, a huge man, like Hulk Hogan sized, really went out to confirm what I told him. My grandparents phoned the sheriff's office. The body had been in the loft for about 3 years. It had several hatchet wounds on it that the police told us were caused by the hatchet I had seen on the bench. has a really large Thanksgiving Day parade every year. I'd never been to one of them before, but I always watched it on television. I went ahead and decided to go one year. I couldn't find anyone who wanted to go with me. None of my family or friends wanted to spend Thanksgiving standing in the cold, I guess. By the time I had gotten to the parade route, it was already really packed. I was worried whether or not I would be able to see that well, but I was able to find a spot behind another group of people that gave me a pretty good view of the parade route. I hadn't been there very long when I noticed someone who for some reason just caught my eye. I can't say there was anything unusual about him. He was rather big, a little unkempt, but there was just something about him. I in fact found myself continuously looking over at him. A few times that I was looking at the man, he caught me looking. As most people do when they are caught looking at someone, I quickly looked away each time. But even so, my curiosity got me to eventually start looking in his direction again. After a while, I could tell that he was getting annoyed. I resolved to try harder to not look at him, but that just made it worse. After a while, I looked at the man again and noticed that he was closer to me than he had been before. I didn't think about it at first because we were in a big crowd watching a parade. People moving around in the crowd were in no way unusual, but the more I glanced over at him, the closer and closer to me he kept moving. He was doing it casually though, making his way around other people. He was definitely coming in my direction. To test and see what he would do, I made my own way through the crowd toward the back of the sidewalk. I glanced at him and he immediately switched courses to be coming towards me. I was convinced he was coming at me, and I was mildly alarmed. However, I kept telling myself that it wasn't anything to worry about. I was in a parade with thousands of people. If the guy was going to try and hurt me, he would get caught pretty quickly. I guess that's the problem with assumptions though. They really don't take all possible scenarios into account. The man did make his way over. There was only one person separating us when he stopped and went back to looking at the parade. I relaxed a bit, but when the man separating us moved, the guy moved up against me. I was about to move before I felt something sharp against my back. He had a knife, and probably because we were in a big crowd, he was able to hide the fact that he was holding it up against my back. To any bystanders, he looked like a guy in a crowd watching the parade. He asked me why I was staring at him over and over. I was too scared to speak at first, but when he asked again and moved the knife, I apologized, telling him that I didn't mean to stare. I didn't know why I was was dead. I turned on the light and searched around for the guy from dinner, and he wasn't there. I checked the bathroom and the window was open. He had killed the one man and then left as quietly as he could. The most horrific part of this was a man losing his life over something as simple as a dinner. Even worse for me was that the man